welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa Explains It All. You guys, it's almost Valentine's Day, and that is my favorite holiday. I love Valentine's Day. I always have. I probably like it more than Christmas, maybe? That's a bold statement, but I don't know. I might stand behind that. I have always loved just like the idea of love and romance and just the color red and chocolates and flowers and hearts and everything that just kind of goes along with Valentine's. So I'm just a big romantic at heart. What can I say? I know a lot of people don't celebrate Valentine's, but for those of you that are, you might be wondering what kind of makeup look to wear on your night out. So hopefully you're going somewhere special to celebrate, so like a dinner in or a dinner out on the town. So I'm putting together a few different looks for you guys to pick from this year. I wanted to do something for those who are planning to wear pink, whether it's a soft pink or a bright pink. You might wear red, you might wear black, or burgundy. Those are kind of just the popular Valentine's colors. Of course, white kind of would go with all of any of the looks, but well, I wanted to put together those, and I'll put the timestamps here for each of the looks that I plan to do. If that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned and I'll be right back. So we're gonna start today with the pink look. I'll start with a light pink and then show you guys a brighter pink, and then we'll fade into the other looks. So let's get started. First, I gotta clip up this hair because I spent too long beach waving it for it to get messed up in the makeup. So we're just gonna clip this on out of the way, and we'll start in with a primer. And I'm just using my typical favorite, the Optical Illusion Primer from Urban Decay. It's one of my faves. I've always found success with this product. I know some people have success with like Hourglass Mineral Veil, which tends to crease for me. I know that some people really like what's the other popular primer? Smashbox, the Photo Finish, which, you know, does okay for me, but sometimes will clog my pores. So today I'm just gonna stick with what I know and what my favorite is so far. No one's come out with anything to date that is any better. So before we start in, I'm gonna go ahead and do some pre-concealing for some of my acne scars and things for the Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer, and it looks like this, even though the brand name is worn off. It's well used and well loved, so I'll put that on just a few of my little spots. I just do that to help my foundation cover a little bit better so it doesn't have to work so hard. So for foundation, I am using my Fenty Beauty today. I love it. This is the original formula, not the hydrating formula. I love the original. It just works much better for my skin. This is the Soft Matte Longwear Foundation in the shade 185. And so I am just going to put on a little of that today with a damp beauty blender. Friendly reminder, always use your beauty blenders damp. These are not supposed to be dry sponges. I know that was something that I didn't necessarily know when I first bought one until I read the directions and watched all of the little videos that showed you how to do it, and they certainly are supposed to be used wet. And I am, of course, taking this down into the jawline and into the neck as well to make sure that it's blended. So now that I've got a good base on, I'm going to go ahead and do concealer. And so I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape today. Of course, I've already opened it, but it looks like that. And I don't need a whole lot. I think as you start to age and you start getting mature skin around your eyes, you don't need as much as maybe some of the younger YouTubers would. So don't need as much as you think you do. This is a really full coverage, heavy concealer. And so I just go in with a few dots to help brighten up the center of the face and under eyes. If you're really worried about dark circles, you actually can get a color corrector like in a peach shade to combat darker tones. And of course green would be to conceal like redness and like blemishes. But I don't feel like I need a color corrector for my under eyes. I just want to brighten it up just a bit, and so concealer for me does the trick. Now the concealer is done, I will go ahead and set my under eye with the Hourglass Translucent Setting Powder. And so I'm just going to dip into that with my beauty blender. Sometimes I'll use a brush, but today I'm just going to use a beauty blender to pat that in. And you don't want to go too heavy here. Again, for those who have little tiny fine lines around your eyes, powder will tend to accentuate that. I also do go into anywhere that I have set or put the concealer and use this powder to set. because I do want a fuller coverage, I do want to use a like heavier powder for the rest of my face, and so I am going to use the Kat Von D Lock-It Powder Foundation. It looks like this on the outside, and this is the back, and this is the shade 125. It's light. I am very light, so there's that. But yeah, I do like that. I apply it with a flat top brush. I do enjoy just that kind of fuller coverage look, and it helps really kind of set everything down. Now, if it's in the middle of winter, which this is, you don't have to go in as heavy with a powder as you might in the summertime, or if you're like really oily, especially if you've got dry skin. You don't want to go too hard with the powder because it will make you look kind of just flat and dry and cakey. So I'm just kind of not applying too terribly much of this product. I don't really want to go in too overboard with it, but I do want to make sure that I am kind of setting all those areas that I didn't use the translucent powder on and trying to cover up those little spots. And then I'm going to do bronzer. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder bronzer in the shade Cappuccino, and it's a nice little shade for using bronzer. I want to do a semi-contour today. I'm not going to go as maybe soft as I could. If you want to do like a really soft contour and to where you're really just giving some warmth to the face, you could use a bigger powder fluffy brush. Or if you want to do a more intentional contour, you could use something like this Morphe M523 brush, where it's just got this like kind of curved head on it, but it's also it's kind of flat. You could do that, or you could also use like a tapered brush like this one that just kind of helps kind of guide that onto your cheeks. So I'm going to use just one of these today. I'm going to use my Morphe M523 to give a little bit more concentrated bronzer here rather than just a like a warmth to the face. And so this actually product does tend to be very pigmented, so you kind of have to like make sure you're tapping off the excess and make sure you're not going too heavy with this product, because you can end up looking like really crazy. So I'm just gonna kind of even it out, and I do use kind of circular strokes and just also up and down, and I try to diffuse it a little bit because like I don't want to look too crazy, but I did want to do a little bit more of an intentional contour rather than just a big old fluffy brush full of bronzer. And this step tends to be like where a lot of people look really like fake, or, you know, if you don't get the right color, you know, you can look muddy or you can look too orange. And so hopefully this color is showing up okay on camera. It looks decent in person. So this helps just give some shape to the cheeks and chisel out a cheekbone, give some warmth to the face, and kind of help contour the egg shape that is my face. And then I do, because I'm lazy, I do use the same brush to contour my nose. I'm not looking to do like a really intense nose contour today. I'm just kind of wanting to slim it down just a tad. I mean, I am going out with my husband and he knows what my nose looks like, so I'm not super worried. And I do take the Beauty Blender a lot of times with the product still on it, like my concealer, and I will just kind of go back into the center of the nose to kind of help redraw that, and then just sort of play with the bronzer as well. All right, so that is looking okay, and I think we are ready for blush. For blush, I'm actually going to use the Anastasia as well. So I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the palette Pool Party, and I'm using the shade, I think I'm going to do, because I'm doing a pink look today, I am going to use the middle one, which is a bright pink, and it's called Pageant. And so I'm going to do that with that tapered brush that I showed you earlier, and that is the Morphe E4 brush. So I'm going to do a nice pink look today, and this is very pigmented, so make sure you're getting rid of all that extra. And then of course, because we applied the contour here, you'd want to put your blush just a bit higher here. So I'm going to go ahead and sweep that on and to the apples of the cheeks and just kind of slightly upward to give a nice blush look. I want it to be fairly natural. I think like with a light pink look, I want it to be natural and not so heavily made up. I kind of want to look sweet and you know, like cherry blossomy. And so I am just going to kind of do the apples of the cheeks in a circle like this, and then as well as just a tad bit on the cheekbone itself, but not too crazy or overboard with the blush. And because my face has been so matted down by the foundation, which is a matte foundation, which I do like, don't get me wrong, and the powder, right, it's so matte, I do want to kind of make it a little bit more glowy, and I want it to kind of shine a little bit. And so I'm going to use a MAC product today. It's one of the things that I love to make my skin look really glowy and dewy. So this is called the Mineralized Skin Finish Powder, and it's in the shade Lightscapade. And so that is the back of the tag. And inside it's really cool looking. It's like this like swirl of colors, and you just kind of take a big fluffy powder brush and just swirl around in that, and it makes it look like really like a slight shimmer. It's not real, it's a very subtle effect. It makes your skin not look so matte. It makes it look a little bit more shimmery, shiny. If you like that dewy look, it just kind of helps add some mineral finish to it. And so you can probably tell just a bit as I'm dipping into it. It's just a very subtle finish. It's nothing too crazy. Like a highlight, I couldn't probably use it alone as a highlighter, but it is enough to sort of give me like that really pretty, kind of just a subtle skin glow. So if you can kind of see that as I'm moving my face around like a crazy person. All right, and now it's time for actual highlight, and so I'm using my favorite right now, the Becca Champagne Pop. I just have a little mini one here in the shade, actually it's the shade Champagne Pop. That's it. I'm just so used to calling it Becca Champagne Pop that I forget that's actually the shade. It's not just the formula. The actual formula itself is called the Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop. But everybody just knows that it's Becca Champagne Pop. So I'm just using a little brush here, just any kind of brush will do. This is one that is an off-brand, and I'm just gonna dust the tops of my cheekbone with this just to give myself like a nice dewy highlight. And so I'll do both sides with that. And I do love a good highlight, don't get me wrong. Like, I am all about a highlight. And if it's too much, you can always take your finger and just kind of diffuse it right back out if you feel like you've gone in too far. So sometimes I'll do that. A little bit on the Cupid's bow, a tiny bit on the tip of the nose. Some people also do the bridge of the nose like that. And then sometimes people will also dust the tops of the eyebrows. So do what you like, whatever, you know, whatever part of the face you want to draw attention to, do it up. All right, so there's that. And then it's time for brows. And so today I'm going to use the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit. It's got one end that is a brow pencil, and then the other end, which is a spoolie, which is really cool. It's the same concept as Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I've been using this one lately. And so I'll just start by spoolieing up my eyebrows here. That's probably not a verb, like spoolieing up. I don't think that's a thing. I think I meant comb them up. That's what I probably meant. Now that I've got my brows just kind of filled in a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and go back in and disperse the product just a bit. Now we're ready for the fun part, which is the eyes. And so this is what really gives it that look. I mean, the base is whatever it is, but the things that really kind of help make a look come together, I think, are eyes and lips. And so those are the things that I think really were gonna help define this look. And so I'll be using today the Urban Decay Naked Cherry Palette, and I got this one as a gift from my bestie Erica, so thank you for this. This is a beautiful palette. I know it's not new, but I have not tried it before, and so this is the shade range. Again, not new, but I have never used it, and I'm excited to try it today for our look. So I think what I am going to do first is I'm gonna try their brush. You know, it comes with their brush, and I don't know, it's got this on one end and it's got a smaller one on the other end. So sometimes the brushes that come in a set don't do very well, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. So I'm gonna just dip in first and do my brow bone and the base of my lid with the lightest shade called Hotspot. So we're just gonna see how that looks. I might zoom you guys in just a bit. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing a little bit easier. So I'm gonna use in the mirror that they have. Oh, okay, this is actually pretty pigmented. This is pretty, yeah, not bad. I mean, it is, you know, very light, and it is probably my shade. So it's probably not gonna be super dramatic just yet, but I like it. It is covering all the little veins and things. And just a pro tip, you might notice I'm not swiping, I am dabbing at my eyes, because as you get older and you get those little tiny fine lines and kind of crisscross lines, when you drag your tool over it, you drag the shadow over it, it tends to kind of skip over some of it and doesn't really fill in. And so if you tap in, you will actually fill in a lot of those little tiny areas that aren't so good looking anymore. So we're gonna just tap into those and make sure that we get it in there. And I think I'm gonna use like a lighter champagne-y kind of color called Turn On, this one right here. I'm gonna use that for the brow bone just to give it a little bit of a shimmer. Let me see if that will, oh yeah, that's shimmery. Yep, I like that. I'm just kind of playing around here. I have an idea of what I want to do in my head, but yeah, I'm going to use that just for a little bit of shimmer on the brow bone. For all over, I've got something on the lid. Of course, I had Hot Spot on the lid. I think for the transition area, I'm going to use the shade called Juicy, which is actually this like peachy color right here. I'm going to try that, and I'm going to put that all over the top here and just kind of start to blend that out. And I'm going for like a light pink look. Maybe not as much, you know, peach as pink, but I do like the peachiness of this. This is really pretty. So I think for the next area, I'm gonna try for in the crease here, I'm gonna go with a darker color called Bing, which is this one right here. And then if that doesn't look good, I might go in with this one right next to it, which is called Devilish. Oh my, scandalous. So I'm gonna try the little tiny stubby end for Bing, and we're gonna see what happens if we can kind of keep it in the crease area. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. That does work. I'm gonna sort of drag it a little bit into the lid just to kind of create like a V shape. I like that. Yep. That is good. That just kind of helps add like a little bit more color. And usually when it comes to shading, it's all about a gradient. And so you start with the lightest color, and then you sort of start working your way into deeper and deeper colors as you start to layer it on. And that's just sort of like the trick and the secret to, you know, shading and doing like a smoky eye or anything like ombre. So I think I'll carry that up just a bit. I'm gonna like blend it out a tad. So I've got that lighter shade, and then you've got a little bit deeper here. So I like that a lot. And I think what I'll do now is I don't want it to go too dark because I am doing like a brighter fuchsia look next, so I don't really want to go too bright with this. I think I might even just kind of stop here with adding more depth and color to it. So now I think I'm going to go in with the shade Bang Bang, which is a light shimmery peachy kind of color right here. And I'm going to do that one just all over the lid to give it like a little bit of a pop and shimmer, and we'll see what that looks like. So I wanted to kind of do something still really light so that you're not losing that difference, the shade difference between your lid and the crease, but I didn't want to leave it like bright white like this side. I wanted to soften it up just a little bit and add a little shimmer. And this patting technique that I'm doing works especially well with shimmer. That's where I first noticed that I couldn't just kind of drag the brush over my eyelid anymore, was when I started using shimmers, and it was really obvious that like the chunks of glitter were just like skipping right over my eyelid. It was a sad day, but we overcame, and now we pat. So I'm going to use with this brush the shade Feels, which is this one right here, and it is just like a lighter one, and then you just want to take it and go right underneath the eye just to kind of give it a little continuity from the top lid. And then we are ready for liner. Now that liner's on, we can do lashes. I actually had fake lashes, but I can only find one now. So the other one like literally ran away, and I can't find it anywhere in here. So because I'm too lazy to get back up and go to the other room and get more, I'm just gonna do mascara for today. So I am using the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara today. I'll use this, and I guess it's a softer look anyway, so it's not like I had to have lashes, but generally I would have added lashes at this point, but I have looked all over this table and I cannot find them. That thing just ran away. So just layer on some mascara, or hopefully your lashes don't run away with you and you can apply them. All right, I've got eyes on and done. I'm just gonna go ahead and use a little bit of Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel to make sure that these bad boys don't go anywhere throughout the dinner. Don't want those to shift at all during Valentine's dinner, so I'm just gonna paste them in place, if you will. And now it is time for lips, and so really any soft pink will do. The one that I happen to have on hand is an Urban Decay. This is like not sponsored by Urban Decay, but I've used several of their products today. So I am using a lipstick in the shade Rush. This is a cream lipstick, and that's what it looks like just in the tube. And then this is what it looks like in the packaging. And so I'm just going to apply this, and it's probably not as bright poppy pink as I'd like. You can certainly apply a different shade, whatever shade you have on hand. It's like a light pink or whatever you find, but I do like this color because it's just very, it's soft, it's kind of subtle. All right, there you have it. It's just a nice, solid, soft pink look that's not too over the top, not too bright. It should be perfect for just kind of a light pink dress, or even if you just wanted to do like this bright pink that I have on here, something bright, but you don't want it to look too overpowering. Like you don't want your makeup and your outfit to be like competing. So I'm gonna zoom you guys back out. So hopefully you like this look. Let's go on to the next look where we are going to do a brighter pink. For the brighter pink look, I am actually cheating a little bit. I am using the base that I've already put on, and I'm using the basic kind of pink eyeshadow that I have on. I'm just gonna go in a little bit harder with some of the brighter pinks in this palette, and then I'm going to use a brighter lip. And so let's go in and make it a little bit more bold for those people who really want it to pop just a bit more. So to really make it stand out, I am going to go in with the shade Young Love, and that is this like brighter fuchsia here. I'm probably gonna play with these three shades just a little bit more. And so I am going to go ahead and start layering on that product with the blunter end of the brush that comes with it. So I'm gonna start doing that in the crease just a bit more to kind of build out this like brighter look. So as you can see, even just adding a little bit more really makes the look just kind of change. It really adds just a punch to this color that you really kind of need. So I'm gonna add that to each lid, and you could stop there and do just the lip if you want it to be like this bright fuchsia. It's such a pretty color. But I do want to add a little bit more depth now that I have kind of gone in and done that. I'm going to buff this out just a bit just to make sure it's really smooth. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of depth with the shade. I think I'm going to go with Devilish. So that was the middle one in this palette right here. So I'm going to go with Devilish. And I just wanted to add a little bit of something to the crease to kind of deepen it a bit. And if this is not going to deepen it as much as I'd wanted, we can always go with a darker shade, but this is helping a little bit just really make that color just super vivid. And I'm just putting it in like the outer corner of the crease. I'm not really doing the inner part at all. Just wanting to deepen that outer shade. And then if you wanted to go even further, you could just go with the darkest shade called Privacy. Was it Privacy? Yeah, Privacy. And really kind of deepen it even further. So this is one that I would do with probably a glitter on. So we've already done like a little bit of a shimmer, and I think I might actually put a little bit more of a shimmer. This is Ambitious, this little shimmer on here. I think I will just do a little touch of Ambitious on there, just to kind of bring that shimmer back to life. And it's a little bit of a deeper shade. It's not quite as like light and bright as the previous shade that we put on before. So this just kind of helps a little bit. And you could certainly do glitter here. I thought about doing a glitter. Actually, one that would work really well is from Tati's palette, Tati's Beauty's Volume 1 palette. You really could do anything in her pink story, and so you could use that glitter if you wanted to. I probably won't do a glitter today with this look. I'm going to do a glitter with one of the looks coming up. And I will probably put in, I forgot this in the last section, to put in just a little bit of this lightest color Hotspot into the corners of the eye just to kind of really lighten everything up. And it looks good if you do this with a shimmer, or if you do it with, you know, matte is fine as well, but shimmer does particularly well. And you could also use your highlighter for this too if you wanted to. Okay, so you've got a nice eye here, and I normally would do lashes here, but again, my lashes have just gone up and left, and I don't know where they are, so I won't do lashes for this look again, but I will go ahead and do a lip. And so I've got a couple options here for fuchsia for you guys. I've got a NARS lip pencil, and this one is in the shade Let's Go Crazy. And so this is what the pencil itself looks like. And these are nice little crayons that you can kind of draw on, and I'll show you that. And then I've also got a Too Faced Melted Latex liquid lip in the shade Hot Mess. And so that's what this one looks like. I like them both. They're both very similar shades, actually, I think. One's probably a little bit more pink and one's a little bit more fuchsia, more purple. And especially on camera, it looks a little bit more you know, distinct, a little bit more noticeable. So let's go ahead and I'll put this one on first, and then I'll show you what the other looks like. So this is the shade Let's Go Crazy by NARS. This is the pencil, and so it's very bright. So if you like very bright, this is it. It's more like a very like pretty watermelon-y type shade. So that's what that looks like. And then I will go ahead and show you the other one. And so this is what the liquid lipstick looks like from Too Faced, the Melted Latex. And this one's a little bit more purple. It's like a little bit more of a berry than a watermelon. It's just a slight more purple hue to it. But I do like it. I think it's really pretty. If you're looking for a shine, this is the product for you. It's very shiny. And if you're looking for more of a matte, I would suggest to go with the NARS pencil. So this is what the fuchsia look looks like if you're looking for that really bright, bold eye that's like just kind of like a smoky pink purple fuchsia color. So for the burgundy look, I am just starting with the base, my foundation and everything that I just did for the pink look, but I am going to, of course, change up the eyes and the lips. And so I'll be using the Naked palette, the Naked Cherry palette again, for some of the burgundy tones. And then I think for some of the neutral tones, I am going to use the Too Faced Smoky Eye palette. This is an old one, but a good one. It's got like a lot of nice neutral shades in there that we can use to kind of brighten up our look. I'm going to go in with the shade called Hotspot, just that light one there. I will start with that one using a clean brush. Had to find one for a second. And I'm just going to kind of dip in, tap off the excess, and pat that all over my eyelid. I do want sort of a kind of a light, bright look just in the inner corner and the bottom of the lid here. So that I can lay down a shimmery shadow kind of on top of it, and it'll actually be able to show up. So I'm going in here with Turn On just in the inner corners here and all over the bottom of the lid, just to kind of give it a really pretty kind of neutral basic color. So for the transition shade, I'm going to use something called Feels, and that one is this mauve-y color right here. I really do like the way that mauve looks when it comes to just kind of blending well with burgundy. So I'm just gonna put that all over the middle here, right up into the brow bone area. And this will kind of give us like a nice transition shade. And I will go, and this one tends to kind of, looks like it goes really pretty far. It's a little bit, you know, more pigmented than the one that we just used for the lid. So some of these shades are more pigmented than the others, it seems. So I'm just gonna take the other end, the blunter small end of the Naked Cherry palette brush, and go in with the shade Devilish, and that is this burgundy right here. And then after that, I'm going to go in with this last shade right here, and that one is Privacy. And so I will start with Devilish, just putting that in the crease to try to kind of deepen this up a little bit and get kind of some depth to it. Like I mentioned before, you really kind of want like a gradient when you're doing kind of a smoky eye look. And so I'm looking for this like gradient. I've got that deepened out, and now I'm gonna go with that dark shade called Privacy into the crease. And it looks like quite a deep color in the palette here, but it's really pretty when it goes on the eye. So, and this is really just a nice shade. I love how it's just making it nice and dark, and I am kind of stopping in the inner corner. I don't like to go all the way in with the darker shades. I kind of stop like halfway through, halfway over, and you might have to blend it out. I'm actually not a huge fan of this, the way this particular brush is laying down this color. It seems like maybe I might have more success with a different brush just for this purpose, but I will continue on and see how it blends. I'll just keep forging on. Since I already did one side, we'll do the other. Okay, now that I've got a nice deep kind of a burgundy wine color going, I'm gonna switch over to my Too Faced Smoky Eye palette, and I am going to go in with the shade, I think Firefly, which is the top one, or I will play around with White Lie, which is the middle. Just those two neutrals, and I'm going to pick up, of course, a clean brush for that. And what I'm doing here is I'm just going to try to start with the Firefly color, and I want to add a little bit, of course, to the brow bone to kind of give it a little shimmer. So I will do that and see how well that shows up for us. Yeah, that shows up pretty well. It looks like it's given us a little bit of life in the brow area. And then I'm gonna also put it on my lid and then the inner corner, just a little bit, like just a touch to kind of lighten it up a little bit. I do have a brush I like to use for this, for the inner corner. That's the Morphe M421. It's this brush here, and it's just very small, and it's got like a nice little flat tip to it, and it allows us to kind of really get into the corner, and I'm gonna use White Lie for that. And so it allows you to kind of just touch in the little corner of the eye where you are trying to place the color. I think I'm just going to use a fluffy brush to kind of blend it a little bit more. I don't think I am super fan of how that Naked palette brush blended everything. So just kind of make sure everything's blended pretty well. And now that everything's kind of blended and on, I think it'll be time for eyeliner and mascara and lips. And one thing I forgot to mention is you can go in with one of the lighter shades and a small brush and just go and continue the color underneath your lash line. And so I'm taking the color Feels, which is just that lighter pink, and really placing it underneath the eye. And then you can take a fluffier brush and sort of blend it out if you feel like that line's too harsh, or if you like the line, then you can leave it. Now that I've got some liner and some mascara on, you could go in with lashes. I probably won't for this purpose today, but lashes, of course, would make it pop even more. And so the last step then would be to go in with your lip. And so I've got two lip options that are kind of similar, and they're some of my favorites. So if you can't find one, you know, go with the other one. The first one is a Stila color, and it's called Rico. And the other one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick. It looks like this. And this one is in the shade Heathers. These are both quite dark, and that's what brings in that burgundy. So if you don't really want like a really dark, bold lip, you could certainly just have the eyes be the bold focal point, and then just have like a lighter, you know, kind of like a mauve or a lighter wine color. But because I am wearing such a kind of a dark color, I really do want a dark lip. And so I'm going to try the Anastasia color today, and it'll be dark. So I'm gonna stop talking so I can actually put this on, and you will see how it kind of transforms and makes this look completely burgundy. So as you can see, it is quite a bold, rich color, but I do love it. It is perfect for winter, and it's really pretty with a wine-colored shirt or a dress. It's just a gorgeous color in person. It really looks like a very just rich, dark, velvety, like burgundy color. And this one does dry down matte. I believe this one from Stila does as well, if I remember correctly. But this is a matte lipstick. So just gorgeous. I absolutely love it, and actually kind of makes my teeth look white, which is a nice plus as well, because I haven't whitened in a while. So after a quick spray of setting spray, this is the final look for the burgundy colors. So now we dive into the red look, and this one's my favorite because I love the color red. It's just awesome, and I have a really great lip color that I'm excited to put on. So for this one, I think I am going to go a little bit more glam. I'm going to do, you know, a really bold red lip, and I'm going to do sort of a little bit of a smoky eye, and I will be using the Too Faced Smoky Eye palette for this one. I do enjoy the neutral shades that are in here, and it does build a very nice smoky eye with some of the neutral shades like these browns, or if you wanted to go with more of the black shade, you could do kind of a grayscale. So going in, I am actually going to start with a clean brush and dip into this shade called Firefly, which is this top one here. And it's like a nice little champagne kind of color. It's kind of, you know, light, and it does brighten up the eye just a bit. I do like to kind of start with just a lighter color for this. And there is a whiter one that you can use if in the set here. It's the shade called White Lie, and so I will sometimes use that in the corners of my eyes, just the inner corner. But today I'm just going to use Firefly for my lids, and then of course for the brow bone, just to give it a little bit of a shimmer. And so this does like offer just kind of a nice little subtle shimmer to it, nothing too crazy. And you can always bolden it up if you like it a little bit more of a pop. You can use White Lie, and I might do that at the end, but I'm gonna see what this looks like first. So now I'm gonna go in with the shade called Cloves, and that one is this one right here. It's been used a little bit. I've actually used it quite a lot, but it really just goes a long way. So right away you can kind of see that it starts to lay down like a really nice shade right here in the crease, kind of the transition area between your lid and the brow bone. Just kind of putting down a little bit of a smoky kind of bronzy color. And I've used this one a ton, and I still have a lot left. This palette really does go a long way, and I'm really impressed with just the way that it kind of blends out. So definitely a fan of this particular formula of Too Faced. And so I'm just going in with a bit more of this clove color, kind of building up to the shade that I'm looking for. And like I said, I don't really want to go too bold necessarily because I am going to be doing a bright lip, but I do want some kind of a smoky eye, you know, look a little cute for Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna go ahead now with the shade Up in Smoke, and that is the darker brown. You can use this shade or any others that you like that are just a bit darker. And this is where I really try to stick to just the outer corners, just in the crease. And I am still using a fluffy brush for this to kind of make sure it's really blended and diffused. I'm not really wanting to go in too heavy yet with any other colors, but I am gonna just kind of stick to this, and you can see that it kind of starts to darken up just a little bit as you're dipping more into this dark shade. And I will sometimes drag it into the inner corner of the eye just to kind of make that like V shape to it. So I will do that, and then as soon as I'm done kind of buffing all that out, I think I will add a little bit underneath of my waterline to kind of drag this color down. So I'm going to use the lighter shade called Clove with just this Jaclyn Hill JH41 brush, just a little flat brush, and I will take that down here underneath the eye to extend the color down a little bit more and just kind of make it really smoky. And of course, if you have some that falls out, you can always brush it away. So far we've got a nice little smoke going on. I like how it's looking. I'm going to take that little tiny little brush here, Morphe M421 brush, just a little teeny one that I used in my last little video, and I'm going to dip into this little White Lie shade, and I am going to do the inner corners here to really brighten that up, and then just the bottom of the lash line right there to make it just kind of a little bit brighter, lighter and brighter right in the inner corner. And this is kind of like a silvery light white kind of shade to just kind of make everything like pop a little bit. And then at this point you could leave it here and just go ahead and do your liner and lashes, but I am going to go a step further with this smoky look, and I'm going to actually do some glitter because I love glitter and I think it's cute with this. So now that I've done kind of like this smoky look, I am going to do a little bit of glitter from Tati's palette. This is Tati Beauty's Volume 1 palette, and I'm going to probably go with just the Soothe glitter, the Soothe line, so that's this one here, and just the top glitter. I think I will do that shade. It's just like a nice like champagne-y gold. I think that'll be really pretty with just the smoke that we have going on here, and then with the red lips. So I'm going to use a little bit of glitter glue with it because I find that, I don't know if it's just my palette, but I find that there is a lot of fallout with this particular palette. if I don't use a glitter glue, and so that maybe that's just me because I've seen other people that have had success with it, and I actually will you know, try to use my fingers today because I have heard people say that they have had more success with dipping into Tati's palette with just their fingers, and I'm like, well, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong because I have always, you know, used a brush to apply it, and maybe that is the difference. So I'm going to apply a little bit of a glitter glue to the lid here just to kind of help it stick. And then I will also switch to using my fingers, which, like, to me is just, I don't know, something I haven't done in years. So here goes. So I am going to use my fingers to kind of press it in to this palette. It's very pretty. I love, love, love this shade. It's gorgeous with the red. Obviously, you can kind of see, like, with my nails, I'm like, ah, it's so pretty red. So let's see how this looks. And I think it is a little bit more successful from what I can tell. There isn't as much fallout as I've seen before, so maybe the key is to use your fingers and glitter glue. So I will dip in here. Love how it's looking so far. Dipping in again and doing the other eye. And of course you'll probably have like 1 or 2 flakes that fall out, but I really just had a ton of fallout the last time that I tried this, and so I'm really happy to see that it's not doing that this time as much. And so I'm just going to kind of brush away any little places where the glitter has kind of fallen where I don't want it. Sort of outside anything outside of my lid is where I'm not really wanting it to be. So just take a little brush, kind of brush away some of those flakes, and you probably can't control every single flake, honestly. I think that it's just gonna go where it wants sometimes, but I do love it. I do love the little smokiness with the glitter. And then I think we are ready for liner and lashes and lips. So liner is on and it's time to do some lashes. I'm just using some Kiss lashes that are kind of like a faux mink. So I'm gonna pop those on real quick and then continue on. Lashes are on, and then of course this makes like quite a dramatic difference in the way that you know, the whole look comes out. But so far I'm loving it. The eyes are nice and smoky and glittery, and then we've got like a nice just kind of a dramatic mascara and lash look going on. And now it's time to finish off our look with the red lip, which is the classic piece. So I am using my favorite red lipstick, which is the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Fiery. And so this is shade 01 Fiery. This is actually more of like, I think a more blue red. There are certainly like orange reds like my nails, and then there are more like blue reds, which is I think the color of this bottle. So I like blue reds probably a little bit more, but I did choose an orangey kind of red for my nails this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on now, and of course I can't do that when I'm talking, so I'm gonna have to zip the lip a little bit. So there you have it. This is it. I love this color red. It's just so bright and so bold and so rich. I really enjoy it. And it does match a lot of my dresses that are red pretty well. You know, it's hard to get an exact match, but this one is pretty good. It looks good in person next to this dress. So I enjoy it a lot. So with liquid lipsticks, I usually do make sure that my lips are exfoliated, and I've moisturized. I moisturize all the time. I always keep some kind of chapstick on my lips to keep them soft. And then sometimes I will outline with a lip liner if you're afraid of kind of the feathering or the lipstick like bleeding into you know, your skin around your mouth. You can always line with a pencil, but I don't tend to do that with a liquid lip. I just kind of use the applicator to outline, and I do start at the outer corner and just draw up at the Cupid's bow, and then I start on this corner, and then I will start and just kind of go in from the corners, and then I fill in the middle. So that's just how I tend to do it. You don't have to do it that way, but it's what works best for me to kind of outline first and then fill in. So this is the red look. So that's it for today's tutorials. I've done a light pink, a brighter pink, we've done kind of a burgundy wine look, and then of course like a bright red look. So hopefully you guys found these useful, and I hope you get to do something special with your sweetheart or your friends or your family to celebrate. I know I will be doing something for Valentine's Day with my girlfriends, and then of course my sweetheart. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat box below, and I will look forward to bringing you guys another tutorial very soon. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you.